Okay, getting a little bit of comments and some advice about addictions. And first of all, I haven't seen anybody know anything about addictions in the first place. I mean, we even have reality shows of the best doing shows on addictions, and I can already see that they don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, you can sort of see, AA is a good program where you can go and get a lot of support, where everybody has to go and admit, I'm an alcoholic. Which, if you really understand the big picture, alcoholics, even if they quit drinking, are always going to be an alcoholic. They're always going to have something that will make them go have that other drink. That's why they need to have that support system to make sure that they never drink. They still have that addiction going on. They still have the causes that created the addiction in the first place. These are people that have never dealt with their addiction. As soon as you get rid of an addiction, you never have it anymore. You don't need a support system. You don't need anybody or anything that, is there to assure you you never smoke again, or you never drink again, or you never participate in addictions. Part of this big all knowing involved I needed to know exactly what causes addictions. I needed to know everything inside and out about this friggin' smoking addiction. And I knew that as soon as I figured the answer to this one out, I would have an answer to a massive big problem, because we as humans do everything addictively. I mean, if you really want to get on it, it's like, if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of getting addicted to YouTube. Not exactly healthy. It's all about balance. It's all, about control what it is that you want to do, or know what it is that you want to do. And it's not, you have to go in with your addiction. You have to see what it is that it wants. You have to sort of play the game out to try and understand what the game is. Now, every addiction has a cause. There's a reason why you do every single friggin' thing you do. For my smoking addiction, you have to look at when behaviors start, because when you start a behavior, there's always something in your universe that convinced you to do what you did. You created this belief that you tend to live your life on, and start your whole programming and base your whole programming on that belief. Now, a lot of it is tied to your genetics. I noticed that my smoking addiction is very much the same as my father's smoking addiction. And anytime life got challenging, he would go for a cigarette. So what did he do? He taught me, he programmed me that every time I have a problem, go for a cigarette. That was his answer. Then they said, oh, the smoking's going to kill you. And, then he ended up quitting. But he still has addictive behaviors, because he hasn't dealt with the reason why, he kind of is going down the path to death. Like, you can stop a friggin' behavior, but it'll come up in a different way. So you've got to get rid of all of these insane reasons that get you addicted to something. It's like, when you get onto your right path, non-addictively, then you're really living. For me, when I started smoking, I was like 13. And that was the time, thick glasses, always was a little different, never really had that. I didn't belong to the in group. So they all said smoke. And you know what? My whole life changed as soon as I started smoking. All of a sudden, I had a large group of friends, and I was going to parties, and life started getting really, really good the second I started smoking. Kind of unusual, but that is going to tie into why I deal with addictions. Um, kind of want to make a big shift, not only in my life, but the world that I freaking live in, because it's not a world worth living in. So, um, a lot of my addiction is going to be tied around being accepted. Now, I put this YouTube channel up just to practice, because I knew that I needed to improve on my communication skills. And there's a few things that I'm working on to improve on myself, which this YouTube experience is providing me with the experience that I need to experience. Um, but I'm getting acceptance. I'm getting supported. But that is not going to cure me of anything. Okay, just because people are supportive of me, that means I will crash and burn the second that people don't support me. So the whole deal that I got to work on is just feeling supported, whether anybody supports me or not. What does it feel like? Can I just go and live my life and not give a shit about what anybody thinks about me, about all of these judgments people make about me? Those are the issues that I'm trying to get rid of, and that will be the thing that makes me be assured that no way, nothing that can ever happen will ever make me want to just choose the death path. It is a matter of I've got to believe in myself. It is a matter that I have to have trust in myself. It is a matter of me being accepted of everybody else's opinions. Everybody else is entitled to an opinion. If I have an opinion, so should everybody else. I'll catch myself judging somebody else, so I should be entitled to let everybody else, judge and have an opinion about me. It's okay. It's a matter of how I get affected by it. The world doesn't have to be perfect for me to want to make sure that my body is in perfect shape, in perfect health. So there's a lot of shit that I'm going on in my own head that's making sure that this addiction is gone, gone, gone. It is about getting rid of all of the causes and all of the programming. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be about my belief systems. There's something that I'm always going to have to recognize and be aware of the beliefs I have. And it is an awareness of, oh my God, there's a belief. Oh my God, there's another belief. Oh my God. And it's a matter of being aware of your own friggin' beliefs and seeing the insanity of believing what it is you believe in. Because, it is kind of insane to say, I just want to be supported in the world. I just want to be heard in the world. And that would get me wanting to live. That means that I'm setting up a rule that everybody's got to believe as I believe. Otherwise, I'm just going to, do something that does harm to me. And it's like, that's a stupid rule. So I know a lot of people are giving me a lot of advice about smoking. And one thing that we all need to kind of realize is that we all have our own answers in our own heads. I personally don't have your answer. I can give everybody advice on, hey, here's how you quit smoking. But it's got to be your walk. It's got to be your path. It's got to be your experience. You got to do things when you are ready to do things. I would never ever push anybody to quit drinking or to quit smoking or to quit drugs. It's like you're on your path. You're looking for your answers. And I don't have your answers because your answers are in your freaking head. So it is really wonderful that people can give lots of advice. But the best way of asking advice is trying to get to know somebody's beliefs. And it's asking better questions, because when you ask questions, then that makes the person that's searching for the answer to your question, make them have to think, make them have to be aware of, oh my God, I didn't know I was doing that. So it's like if somebody wants to offer me any advice, here's a better thing. Ask me some good questions. Ask me something that makes me think. If you see that I'm not being aware of some behaviors that are kind of insane for me, ask me a question, because I'll have to answer you. And when I find that answer to give to you, I'll notice my own insanity. And then I shift myself. And that's where the change all has to be, is you have to shift within yourself. You have to see yourself. Everybody else can see what you're doing. It may be obvious, but you'll never be able to communicate that with me. I need to communicate and recognize it myself. And the best way you can do it is by asking me questions. Just some thoughts. I really, really appreciate everybody having all that concern to make me want to quit smoking or find a better way. I have been very, very successful at quitting smoking. I'm an expert at quitting smoking. I can quit for 5 years. I can quit for a week. I can quit for a year, 2 years, 2 months, 5 months, 9 months. I'm 51 years old. And I've been smoking since I was 13. I know how to quit because I'm an expert at quitting. It's staying quit that I'm not good at. And it's, staying quit without developing another addiction that I'm not an expert at. Kind of listening to myself, kind of found some answers, trying to walk into that path because it sure sounds a lot more logical than anything else I've ever tried before. And again, this is just a diary. You know, I don't have your answers, but you can just peek into my diary and see what's going on in my freaking head. Peace out, love to you, and thank you so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it. But I'm on my path. I'm kind of listening to me. Ask me a good question. Peace out.